Alright, thank you for joining. So today we'll be showing you how to set up an 8-week dedicated period for Step 2 CK. Clerk is continually adding outlined exams. As you can see, we have Step 2 and a lot of the shelf exams. Now Clerk will prompt you to pick which question bank you'll be using. We'll go ahead and we'll also input how many Anki cards we're using. I'm going to use Dorian Step 2 deck. And finally, Boards and Beyond. The total amount of videos for Step 2 is 265. And also I recommend my students using the Melman High Yield Internal Medicine PDF, which is 449 pages. Now for the NBME exams, you should really be doing one exam a week at least. Some people like to do more, some less, but it's really up to the test taker. Now everything we've just inputted will be available on our resource tab and also auto-populate evenly within the calendar tab. Now I'm realizing I wasn't able to add everything I wanted, so I'm going to go back and add in additional resources. For example, I really love using with my students the week before the exam, the Divine Shelf Review videos. I think it's a great accumulation of material and also a fast and dirty way to get through all of the content. So I'm going to add that in here. And as you can see, it's going to add to our resource page and also distribute evenly throughout our calendar tab. Now, when you click on each day, you can see exactly what an even distribution of content would be throughout the whole month. Now, I'm going to show you slowly how to add an NBME exam or any exam on a specific calendar day, and then I'm going to speed through adding a practice exam each Saturday throughout your dedicated period. I'm also adding in days off following your NBME exams. I think this gives students a lot of flexibility in reviewing their exam and also focusing on the content that they're missing within that exam. I think this is a great strategy and I recommend it for all the students that I work with. Now, when it comes to adding your free 120 exam, a lot of people recommend doing it the Tuesday before a Friday exam. And then also UWorld Self-Assessment Test 1. Although it is not as similar as an NBME exam, it does have a lot of important concepts you have to cover. Now that we have all of our NBME exams inputted, it's time to go back and change our outlines for the content review. So for example, now we're going to change our Boards and Beyond content to be done within the first 4 weeks of the dedicated period. Now looking back at that calendar, we know that's March 13th. So we're going to go into our resource tab and adjust the finish date to be March 13th. And then now we'll auto-populate within our calendar. Now when I work with my students, I always want them to keep the Melman High Yield PDF review and the Divine Intervention review towards the end of their dedicated. This is because a lot of the content that is used within those resources are seen on the NBME exams, and that can falsely elevate your exam score. Specifically your NBME exam scores, which would create some false confidence, and that's when I see a lot of students underperforming on their Step 2. So this is very important for your dedicated period. Now when we head back to our calendar tab, everything should be where it should be, and our plan should be already built out for us, and that's only been a few minutes of time. Now when we go to double check our daily goals, we see that, 253 flashcards or new flashcards in Anki per day is pretty unrealistic, and sometimes that can happen when making an original test plan. But now that we're able to see it on the calendar, we're able to make those adjustments. So when I first made the outline of this dedicated, I chose an arbitrary number such as the Dorian Anki cards, and 9,722 total cards is a very unrealistic amount of new Anki cards to do within an 8-week dedicated. So we're going to go back and we're going to adjust that number to be realistic. And this is something that you can do throughout your whole dedicated to really adapt and adjust based on what your goals are and where you feel you are throughout dedicated. And now you can see at 22 new flashcards per day is very realistic. Now I'm sure you noticed that on the days we scheduled an NBME exam, no other resources show up that day. And that's what's automatically defaulted in the app, but you can go in and change that easily in the resource tab. And now, as you can see, all of your Anki is auto-populated to the days of your NBME exams. Now, let's say for the first week you want to focus on your exam review and not work on your Anki, then you can go in and suspend that resource. Now, another exciting feature about Clerk is the group tab. So we can go in and we can join different groups, whether it's private or public, and speak to people all over the world about, struggles, concepts, or whatever it is within that exam. Also, a leaderboard will show you versus everyone else in the group. And also a focus tab with a Pomodoro and a flip timer to help you and friends really focus on dedicated study time.